Hello one and all, Pipes here, and welcome to the second development video of the Abandoned 80s Cinema, which is a portfolio piece I'm creating in CryEngine. And if you saw the first video, you'll know that I blocked out all this cinema, did the set dressing, and put it into CryEngine itself. I also discussed I wanted to start moving down the street and adding in other buildings. So the idea I had was to put in kind of an old-fashioned type building, such as this one that's in Sheffield called the Bridge Inn, and that's where I left it last, where I was just starting to block out the ideas for this pub and hopefully bring that into CryEngine to fill out the scene. So if we move over to Maya, we can see this is the block out of the building. Obviously it's abandoned, so it's a bit more dilapidated. There's worn doors and bricked up window there, and as we go down here we've got the bitumen on the side. Very basic, lots of cuts on it just for some vertex painting. We've got such as cracks there which will be blended in with the vertex paint, and the windows as well. This version actually had some net curtains behind it, but I've took them out of the scene because you can't quite tell what they are from behind, because I want to keep these windows opaque, so, because if not I'd have to be modelling everything inside there, and as you can see it's a hollow shell because we will only be looking at it from this point for purposes of taking screenshots of the scene. So we've got hanging baskets and we've got a lantern there. So it's been quite a task over the past few weeks, and making sure that it's all textured up correctly, because that's what I like to do. I like to do a first pass texturing while it's still in Maya, just to get ideas of the forms, the shapes, and how things are going to blend together. I also like that the pub's got the door on a kind of like a corner angle, good for the juxtaposition of the scene with the cinema there. So let's have a look at it within CryEngine. Here we are. This is where we were last time. We've got the rain still coming down. What the changes around this part that I've made is mainly to turn on the street lamps, and we'll start to work into the road to create a few cracks. I need to build some more loose asphalt that's cracked off and everything. Added just small pieces of grass here and there, bigger crack there, so definitely some asphalt. You can see the cobbles coming from underneath, like they've put the asphalt over the top of it. Trying to keep attention to detail to the maximum throughout the entire piece itself, throughout the entire project. Got a few dirt mounds in there, and I've moved the cobbles as well. We used to have the cobbles going all the way down here, but I thought the asphalt might look nice because I can get some good road markings in there. But to still utilise the cobbles, obviously I've got them running down here. Need some vertex painting to break up some of the tiling on it, but as you can see we've now got sort of like a back alley, but we're getting a building behind there to fill that out. And here we are, this is the pub in the actual scene itself. So quite a lot of set dressing gone on with it as well, a lot of additional things that I've modelled and textured and brought into there. So let's start with this side. So we've got the bricked up building there, we've got the windows. Like I said, I've took the net curtains out. There's the cellar trap door with the tread plate on there. Might have that open actually. Might be interesting to be able to look down there, see the steps, and so the darkened cellar down there, some cobwebs and things. There's a beer barrel, Pops Pale Ale, that's a mate of mine called Pops. As you can see from the back, it's indented the other way like they are in reality. Kind of looks like there's part of some sort of the fluids dribbled out there. And then we can see the viaduct step. Quite proud of this one, I quite like that. I think it works quite well with it. If I'm being modest, but yeah, especially with the raindrops on top, it looks really nice. The door with the optional nudie lady. We've got the lantern. I put a bulb in there. Obviously, once the alpha is active in the scene, you can see the bulb through it. We've got the viaduct lighting. Sorry, this the sign with the lighting over the top. To maximise on texture space, I've kind of got like a generic metal texture that's going over quite a lot of things. Obviously, it's not going over the lantern because this is quite bespoke and it needed quite a lot of work into it with the rust and the paint cracking and whatnot. So I've kept that their bespoke textures, but things like these lights, and also on the sign again, the lights with a cracked bulb. We've got the sign. The trim of the sign is actually the same texture from the front door. I mean that's just the most efficient way of doing it. I mean it looks like it's made for that piece anyway, so just use the resources as best you can. Again, we've got the hanging baskets. We've got the windows all boarded up now. We've got some beer bottles, one for Kev, one for Sam, friends again. And we've got a cracked variant of those also. We've got these windows which have got kind of this bobbly, frosted look to them. Also been working on some foliage, working on some grass, got some dandelions and things like that. Still quite a lot of foliage still to create, some small bushes and things. As we go across, we've got some more tar patches and also a few more cracks in the road and everything. Gas lamp on there. And then as we start to move further down, this is where the viaduct will cut across. There'll be an arch there, railway over the top, and we've got the fencing. So behind here I'm thinking having some trees and a bit of wasteland, and then some more buildings, and then further away textures such as the landscape further away, just on sort of like a plane. It'll all become obvious once I get everything in, and I'll show you on a development video. Here's the pub gates. We've got the specularity there on the door frames and the actual hinges, making sure that the actual bolts sparkle a little more, so making sure they're quite white in the spec map. We've got a decal there for the door itself. Then behind here we've got some benches again, just a reuse of the base wood texture and just adding on sort of some more grime and dirt and things. More crates, plastic crate this time. And also a dartboard. Seth and Connie, that's a friend of mine's kids. Ashtrays. These are the broken bottle variants. Got some more of these here. A TARDIS. I always put a TARDIS in there. I've just created this model quite a while ago, and I always just put it in just for a laugh. Yeah, they used to glow a bit more on the windows, but I've brought it down a little bit, just keeping it in a corner. Yeah, so we've also got an outhouse with some corrugated metal over the top of that. Needs a specular ramping up a little on that actually. But yeah, so we've also got the floor, which I quite like. It's turned out quite well, if I do say so again. Yeah, so I feel the pub, apart from obvious tweaks and perhaps adding a couple of little bits here and there, also got the camera orbs when you're looking into the lights there. But I'm pretty much happy with that. Need to ramp up the specular on that. Need to make a note, ramp up specular on corrugated roofing. So yeah, one other thing I've been doing is also looking at adding in a few particle effects, and I really feel this really adds to the mood of the scene. Here, if I turn on the layer, yeah, I feel it really. Might need to bring those camera orbs down a bit, but it adds quite a lot. And if it's left for a while, if you just leave it, you can see it, once the particles start to add up and build up, you'll find that it starts swirling, like the ground smoke starts swirling around the pub and around the cinema, which I really like. Again, I might bring down the time of day, make it a little bit darker, I'm not sure yet, because now we've got the street lamps on, it's not so it wouldn't be so dark. I need to add some street lamps at this side. So the next plan is to create the viaduct on this side, brick viaduct, damage on it, and then the train tracks over the top. And then this side will be parkland. I'm thinking to having sort of like a small river or lake that goes through there, perhaps underneath, through another arch of the viaduct as it goes across. So there's still quite a bit to do, especially when it comes to adding in the foliage and trees. I need to make some trees in ZBrush and get those in, get some more bushes in there, perhaps another grass variant. I'm not sure, I might be okay with the grass for now. I'm also changing all this paving down here. I've created some new paving stones, so that should hopefully look a lot better. But yeah, as you can see now, with the particle systems actually building up, it's starting to swirl and looks really nice. Quite happy with that, especially with the rain on top. It really adds something into it. Oh, it's really going for it now. I just thought I'd also just give you a quick look at some of the texture work I've been doing. Now this is actually a Megascan example, which I've been watching a video from Noman Workshop, and they go through the Megascans. He's got some examples, so this is just something I screenshotted out of it. Now really what it's showing is this new machine that they've got. We can take diffuse textures, specular, gloss, normal maps, and they just trundle it over a piece of ground, and then it takes these pictures, and as you can see, they're absolutely perfect. The lighting is neutral. There's no harsh shadows or really bright highlights. It's really neutral, and that is what you want your textures to look like when you're creating them. So with this in mind, I've been trying to keep the textures as neutral as possible. This is the brick wall for the pub. There's a diffuse blend on there, and also we've got the specularity, normal map. There is some detail in the normal map, but I do keep it quite subtle. And also we've got the blend stroke height map there. So that's tiling brick variant. Got another one here which I'll be using soon, which is just smaller tiles. But as you can see, the lighting is quite neutral, nothing too harsh, and that way you'll get the maximum benefit and effect when you put it into your game engine. Again, bricks here, not too dark. Again, specularity on that one. Normal map, just base normal map. Might add a few cracks into the normal map and things as well as on the texture. And this is that wood base. So this is a base wood texture that I've created with a normal map on there. There's a height map. There's no specularity because I use this as the basis for the wood, so I can turn it into whatever I want. So for example, got the wooden gates, and then just start adding things in, and that's when start to do the specularity map after that. As you can see, keeping this quite bright because that's where the metal is of the hinges, and then obviously the dirt would be darker, and just that's the wood specularity. There is some detail in the metal there, and yeah, and finally that was for the windows and for peeling paint. Again, base texture, and then just add these things on top, and these are specularity creating for it. But yeah, and that's the normal map on that one, which I'm quite happy with. But that speeds things up tremendously if you can use such as this base wood. Just create a base wood, keep it quite neutral, and then you should be fine, and it speeds things up, as I say. So try and keep your textures as neutral as possible. Really looking forward to that Megascan's website. Checking that out definitely, and I'll get back to you once I've started work on the viaduct. I really appreciate you watching these videos and the support I've been getting. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is really towards trying to get into a really good studio, so hopefully if someone sees it, pass on my details. My portfolio is www.rpiper.co.uk, and send me a message on there or on this YouTube video. That'd be great. Have a great time, guys, and I hope all your scenes are working out brilliantly too. So have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye.